The Plan Path.
Hi guys, welcome to Plant Path Podcast today, your choice hub for book reviews and crucial conversations. Okay, so today we are celebrating International HR Day 2022. It's a day set aside to highlight, recognize, and celebrate HR professionals and people specialists around the world. So if you deal with people every day, if you are interacting with people, studying people, researching people, today is a day to celebrate you. This year's theme is HR, human resource, shaping the new future. I like that topic actually. The new future of work, this whole new work arrangement we have now, especially after COVID-19, then new career opportunities, new people as well. I mean, the whole LGBTQ society, and then access to society. Basically, how HR people, human resources personnel, can actually help to shape the world, this new world, this our new normal. Anyways, let me tell you some personal things now. HR people, I've been a graduate, so like I've graduated from university for like now like 9 years, right about 9 years now. And HR people, I have seen a lot. I have questions for you people. Why do you people like trouble? HR people. I mean, everybody will just be sitting at work and everybody is all happy, but then you just be inventing trouble. Nigerian HR people, why? How far? Then really sometimes I think about you guys. I feel for you because sometimes I wonder how it feels to be the one to have to fire people, to conduct exit interviews for people. By the way, there's a new theory that says that stop conducting exit interviews. You need to conduct ongoing interviews on your job, like as people on their roles. You need to consistently interact with people on their roles so that you find out how they are doing. You don't have to wait to the exit interviews and medicine after death. Anyways, back to the question, Sha. How does it feel? How do you guys feel knowing that you people have done all the mess of the corporate world on behalf of management, and you have to go back home, and even aside that you have to play the role of colleagues to your colleagues, and after you have served them breakfast, I wonder how you guys feel at times. Well, I love you people, even though you people are not nice, Sha. All right. Okay, so this episode, we're doing a book review of the book Chief Joy Officer by Richard Sheridan. I tried to get a HR person. We tried to, but then we couldn't. So the person we booked for this episode actually couldn't make it. So painful, but then enjoy the ride. Don't worry, very soon we will have people join us. Okay, so Chief Joy Officer by Richard Sheridan. The book has a subtitle that says that how great leaders elevate human energy and eliminate fear. That's very deep. You remember that the author Richard Sheridan has another book that says Joy Incorporated, How We Built a Workplace That People Love, and that book review is actually on our podcast platform. You can just scroll down, you would see it. Make sure you listen to it, especially if you have a job, if you have a business, or you plan to have a business, or you have a job and you have a portfolio career, aka side also. It will help you to know how to build a proper organization. This it will help you really. I think you should listen to it. Let's jump right into the book review of Chief Joy Officer. As usual, let me read a few of the acknowledgements for you on here. Raj Sisoda says, Richard Sheridan shows leaders how to leave fear behind and lead from a place of service and joy. And really, that's what this book is all about. Leaving fear behind and then leading people, leading companies, leading organizations to from a place of service and joy, actively enjoying what you're doing. Mike Altendorf says that many business books provide the ingredients for success, vision, purpose, servant leadership, empowerment, and great culture. Rich shows you how to mix it all together, providing the perfect recipe for joyful success for both you and your team. Amazing. I love that introduction. I love the acknowledgement. Sorry. Okay, so the forward of this book was done by Tom Peters. Tom Peters is the one, can you remember him? He's the one that wrote In Search of Excellence. That book is an amazing book. I feel everybody should read. Sorry, I always feel everybody should read every book I've read. Okay, so by this, I think that by now you should know that if you have a book you want us to review, you can send us a mail or just put in the comment. Mail us planpartc planedpathc@gmail.com. Just send us a mail. If you have the soft copy of the book, mail it to us, and then we would really kindly highly put you into consideration to review, put you in our lineup to review that book. We'll be glad to do that for you. Okay, so Tom Peters was like, although it sounds very awkward to be starting a forward in the way he's starting it, but he will tell us that, and like as you're reading this book, don't agree with anything Richard Sheridan is saying. Actually, as because if you start to agree, you will just keep nodding your head like, oh my god, it makes sense, like it makes sense, dope, 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 and then before you know it, you start nodding like a frog. That was a joke. I almost didn't catch it myself. Anyways, so Tom Peters was like, we spend a significant amount of our adult life at work, and I mean that's very true. Like our waking hours, our adult life, we spend it at work, and it will be so disastrous if we don't like our workplace. If our workplaces are not healthy places, are safe places to be in, I mean it's going to even negatively impact our mental health as well. Okay, so and that is really very sad. And Richard Sheridan feels that it doesn't have to be so, and that at his organization, Mellow Innovations, you really need to listen to that book review of Joy Incorporated. Anyways, okay, so at Menlo, there are three guiding principles that have been found to make great employees. Number one, create meaningful, positive human impact. That's important. Two, always demonstrate integrity. Three, act in a way that expresses care, hope, love, and joy. I hope you got that. Please. Okay, so he now encourages readers that, and of course, as he's talking to readers of the book, he's also talking to you that you are listening to this podcast, and to everybody that is going to listen to this podcast at every point in time. He's saying that in order to in order to get like the point of the book, to understand the spirit of the book beyond the letters, it's very important that we read the book all over again. We listen to this book review all over again, because it's going to really really help us. Do you understand me? You feel me? If you have any questions, please make sure that you put in the comment section. We'll be glad to reach out to you to respond to you. Let's jump right into the introduction of this book. The introduction is actually very special. Let me pause so we can soak it in what we have learned so far. Okay, so the introduction of this book is special, is personal. It says that joy is personal. That's actually the title of the introduction. It actually says that Richard Sheridan was like, there was a time in his career that he had everything going on. You know, that time you are where people are like, oh, this person is balling, family fine, work great, he has a good position, but then he wasn't happy. I can imagine how that feels, to have everything on the external and not still feel happy inside of you. It was like he was not happy, and then he now later discovered that in his quest in life, that what he really really wanted at that point in time was something very very personal to him. He wasn't looking for happiness is quite momentary, it's fleeting. He wanted something more deeper and more meaningful, like I always say, personally meaningful. He wanted joy. He wanted an environment where people were bringing out joyful outcomes that were produced by joyful people working in joyful spaces. That's really personal, and really only you can define what your joy means. Only you can be able to determine what happiness is to you. And I would encourage you that whatever it is that happiness is, your joy is, you should go for it. We can only Other people can just cheer you up. And in fact, I wouldn't even encourage you to base your happiness on how other people feel about you, but then you should learn how to seek your joy and put yourself first. Like, take very, very good care of yourself. Like Yoruba, I have a grandma that says toju arare. Take very good care of yourself. That's what it means in English. That's a Yoruba expression. Okay, so let's go to part one of the book. In part one, we really discover what leaders look like, because it's important to be able to identify what our dreams are. You understand? Because when we recognize what joyful leaders are, we'll be able to, set clear goals as to how to get there. You understand? And as to how to become HR professionals, executives, and even staff like that are joyful. So how do joyful leaders look like? Now, chapter 1 says that joyful leaders are authentic. See, the Jung is of the opinion that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you really are. That is a great privilege. Richard Sheridan says that the very idea of being authentic can be difficult to grasp and hold on to. We must learn to confront the masks we so comfortably wear to work every day. When I read this, I was like, wow, is this you? Is this you? And we really need to even ask ourselves, even at this moment, is this you? Is this me? Do I wear masks to work? Am I a completely different person at work and at home and amongst my friends? Or when I'm with my leaders, I'm different. When I'm with my colleagues, I'm different. Okay, so let's explore this discussion together. First of all, is to own your mask. Um, Own your marks. So at Menlo, they usually do something that's called Launch and Learn. Menlo is Richard Sheridan's company, and at Launch and Learn, what usually happens is that an organization in their community or somewhere actually comes into the organization, and they have lunch together, they share together, and they just learn. It's just very simple, it's casual, and it's fun. I can just imagine that it is actually fun. I really look forward to going to Menlo. Sponsor my trip. Okay, so baby girl, look for money and actually go. All right, so Menlo, so there it was like on one of those launch and learn days that one organization came. The name of the organization is Else Place, ELE''S Place. So it was like at Else Place, it's a non-profit, and what they do there is to help grieving family members like deal with the loss of their dear ones. You understand? That is such a worthy cause. I mean, that place must be filled with plenty cry, sha. Okay, all right. So one of the services that they offer at Else Place is that when people lose their loved one, like they tell them to make marks, or maybe they even give the marks to them. And then outside the marks, like when you're wearing a face mask, for example, like the parts that people can see, you write how you feel, like joyful emotions. I'm happy, I'm glad, I'm this, I'm pumped up, I'm excited, I'm resplendent, and all of those very nice things. I'm filled with gusto and all. And then in the inner part where people can see, they write all the negative emotions, all their dark emotions there. Some people are like, when are you going to come back? We miss you, we feel so sad without you, and everything. And then what they now encourage people to do is that those grieving family members, or even across families, is that they encourage them to share what the content of their inner marks is with other people. And in a way, it just makes you feel like you're not alone in this struggle. You understand? Like you feel like, oh, you feel this way too, are you serious? So aside that feeling that we're seeing outside, the inner person you grab. Okay, so as bosses and HR person, it is very important to know that great leaders are authentic. It's okay to have the outward marks, like such as you're strong, confident, successful, in charge, brave, and everything. It's also cool to actually even acknowledge that what you feel inside. If you feel scared, you feel a low self-esteem, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, etc. It's okay to acknowledge those marks. It's okay to own your feelings, own your marks. very, very important on your journey to be an authentic leader. Thank you very much. Okay, let me go on a quick commercial break right now. We'll be right back to discuss with you on other aspects of this book. Stay with us.
The Blood Path.
Hey guys, and welcome back. Remember, this is Blind Path Podcast, the choice hub for book reviews and crucial conversations. Okay, I enjoyed doing that. All right, so let's talk about bringing our whole self at work on the journey to become authentic leaders. This part is very essential, and Richard Sheridan tries to clarify something that as much as we have those two emotions, those different sets of emotions, being authentic is less about putting on display the full range of emotions that we're experiencing every day. It's not, it's oh, you feel angry and you have to display that so that you're vulnerable. No, that's not what authenticity really means. It means that what it looks more like sharing our marks so our teams can see who we really are. Just mentioning that, oh, yesterday this is how I felt, last night this is how I feel right now. You know what I'm saying? It helps people to be able to relate with you more. A great leader is an authentic person that people can relate with. I used to have a boss that I will just get to the office. I'm like, how are you today? It's like, oh my god, I was so stressed out last night. And it made me, that doesn't mean my boss was a perfect person or anything, but it just made me feel like, oh, this is someone I can like relate with, the emotions that this person is facing and all of that, maybe support him or her, pray and everything. And it was actually good to have that. So and then we don't have to. Richard Sheridan said something about the living like culture. Living like culture. So that is a culture that actually encourages people to be completely different people at work. And then like people can't even like marry the two different people. Like you're just showing different vibes. I'm like, where exactly do you belong to? You understand? So we don't have to be a part of the living like culture. Um you don't have to act how you feel, like we said earlier. Just say, and let's just say it out, let people know that you're human too, you understand. You don't have to wait, and we don't have to really wait till moments of crisis to express authenticity, like to be real. You grow, you we can just do that in everyday life, like experiencing that maybe there was traffic, or this is happening, oh, it's been a stressful week, let's take a day off, let's take 2 days off as an organization, let's take the week off, let's work from home, let's go out, let's detox, let's do stuff together. You understand? We don't have to wait to bad things happen before we support each other. Let's also learn how to support each other in the everyday struggles and not normalize our pain. Okay, that was very good, thank you. Number three, fight fear by building trust. It's important that organizations actually can help people to build trust by encouraging people to work together, put people in teams to work together on projects where real life interactions can actually take place. That's very, very important. It's a way to build trust, and as people work together in safe environments, where they can feel safe, the marks really begin to fall off. I remember that I have a colleague that we were just good. Hey, hello, hi, how are you? Just all of those skinny, all of those kind of, I said skinny, all of those kind of interactions were actually just happening at work. And we had a day that we just walked out of the office. We had a project out of the office, and then that day was like I met an entirely different person until I left the organization. Like even till now, years after, I think 5 years now, we are still like very good friends. Like hello, good buddies, and it's these things are just very essential to learn. They don't cost a thing. Like really, 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 it's important that people work together and are able to build trust in an organization. It's even good for the business self. Okay, so I must really move on to chapter 2 right now. Chapter 2 says that great leaders are humble. So there's this insightful quote by General Douglas MacArthur. He says that, build me a son, O Lord, who will be strong enough to know when he is weak and brave enough to face himself when he is afraid, one who will be proud and unbending in honest defeat, and humble and gentle in victory. I think that doesn't only apply to sons, it applies to daughters as well. Okay. Humble is quite a challenging word in the context of business and in the corporate space, really, because I feel for people, when you say humility, people are like, you want me to be humble? My competitors will maybe run over me, or you want me as an employee to be humble, so that when they are sharing next bonus they will not remember my name abi, or when they are promoting they will think I'm a weak person, or as a HR person, as an executive, as a leader in your organization, as a team lead, as a supervisor, you'll be like, if I'm too humble, man, these people will just be taking me for granted. I know that as human beings we usually feel like that, but Richard Sheridan is clarifying. He's saying that humility truly means considering others. That's what humility just means. It means it just when you're humble, it means you're considering others. It doesn't mean that you're a doormat. Humility acknowledges that all work is noble, and even the seemingly mundane things, cleaning, that means someone that has that kind of value and mindset will treat the cleaner, or let me say sanitation staff in the office with respect, will not look down on an intern or a copper in their office. You understand? So humility is a very important concept for HR persons, leaders, executives, and even people who are work to grab. We must all admit that humility requires strength. It requires a lot of strength to be humble. I mean, okay, so recently I've just been thinking, I've had like really powerful interactions with people this week, and one of the things I'm realizing is that it takes a lot of strength to really come out of your shell and be vulnerable with somebody. It takes a lot of strength to admit that you were wrong. It takes a lot of strength to apologize, and I'm really respecting people who are able to do this in a very, like, in just a different like light, really. I'm really someone that says, oh, I'm sorry, forgive me. I mean, it takes a lot of humility to be able to do that. Weak people, is easy for you to shout and everything. Okay, so let me not get ahead of myself. There's actually something based off this. um we must admit that humility requires strength, a special kind of strength. It is not an overpowering or authoritative strength that many think is the hallmark of good business leadership. It is an empowering and humble strength that helps us bring a rare breed of value to the world of business. So humility takes strength, really. I want to jump to part two right now, but then we must really finish this very important thing before we move on today. I know it is this one, we must really finish it. Chapter 3 says loving. Great leaders are actually loving. In Leo Buscati's book Love, he says, okay, is that his name is actually Leo Buscaglia. In Leo Buscaglia's book Love, he says, oh my god, that name is a mouthful. Buscaglia, where is he from? Maybe Brazil or Russia, maybe. Okay, so the man says that, Leo says that only the weak are cruel. Gentleness can only be expected from the strong. Very, very important. Remember the First Corinthians definition of love in the Bible. Let's bring it down to this context. And the way Richard Sheridan puts it is very insightful. He says that leadership is patient, leadership is kind. Remember that kindness is free. It will not cost you a thing as a HR professional to be kind towards other people. I beg you, please be kind. Leadership does not envy. Leadership is not proud. Leadership does not dishonor others. You don't have to come and shout at people in front of other people. Please be respectful about whatever breakfast you want to serve them. Thank you. Leadership is not self-seeking. Leadership is not easily angered. Leadership does not keep a record of wrongs. Leadership does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. Leadership protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love helps you, and that is something you really need to think of as a HR person, as a leader, as a thought leader in your field, as a team leader. You lead any kind of group. Think about it. Is my leadership style portraying this kind of thing? Like, are my leadership principles, my deals, what I do every day, are they portraying this kind of things? You understand? These are things we really need to think about. And love is very important at work to build organizations that are joyful. Love helps you to channel your energy and anger in a positive direction, and also helps you to see the full picture of things. I mean, you need to really love people to be interested in them and get a full grasp of what's happening in their lives. Part one has been really exciting. Part one of this book has been really exciting, and I'm glad that you've listened to this point in time. Make sure you finish listening. Make sure you share, listen to other episodes and enjoy. Make sure you share with your friend. Very, very, very important. Subscribe, drop a comment, drop a thumbs up, encourage us. Thank you so much. Okay, we finished part one now, and part one really tells us about joyful leaders, and this part two is now exposing us to how to be it says building a culture of joyful leadership. Okay, let me just run us through it quickly so that we can like close this episode. It says that start with purpose. Like Simon Sinek will always tell us in his book, start with the why, and he always says it in his YouTube video. Simon Sinek, he always says that clarify your reasons, and that's what Richard Sheridan is saying here. Clarify your reasons, and it is easier to move from there. Start from the why, please. Start with your purpose in building a culture of joyful leadership. Value leaders, not bosses. Value leaders, not bosses. Value leaders, not bosses. Okay, so I know that you may be thinking, what's the difference between bosses and leaders? Bosses and leaders, what comes to your mind? Let's take a minute to reflect on that question. What's the difference between bosses and leaders? Okay, so there's something I saw that I said I must share with you. I saw a meme, and it pretty much just captures what Richard Sheridan was saying. It says that, let me read out to you. A boss, give me a second please. I'm opening it. Okay, it says that a boss is an individual who is in charge of the employee or an organization. A leader is an individual who possesses the ability to influence and inspire others towards the accomplishment of goals. Note that leaders possess the ability to influence and inspire others, and everybody's working towards goal. Comparison, let's compare. A boss drives employees and leaders coach employees. Is different, please. A boss depends on authority, then leaders depend on goodwill. If you are a boss and you know that these people are not going to listen to you if you were not in that position, and if you step down today, you're on your own. The people will serve you breakfast. Maybe you're actually a boss, not a leader. A boss inspires fear. Leaders generate enthusiasm. Like, people are excited to come to work. They're not rushing to leave your office. They are just so passionate about the project you're working on, all of that. But once it's all fear, you're a boss. You are a boss. A boss always says every time. My family, my days, everything is all about you. You always have a friend in this. You always say, you never acknowledge what other people are doing. You are a boss. But when you say, we did this together as a company, as an organization, the team is working on this, the team will get back to you, and everything doesn't have to be centered around you. That means that you are becoming a leader. Another one, a boss places blame for the breakdowns. Like, the blame has to shift on other people if it's a breakdown, if something happened. But leaders take responsibility. They don't own other people's responsibility. They point it out and they fix it. Very important that even in conflict resolution, if something is happening, as much as we are discussing the thing, let's not dwell on that. Let's focus and move on to the next thing you're supposed to be doing and forge a way ahead. A boss knows how things are done, knows all the processes, and then they want to hoard all the information, you understand, so that they can always look and feel higher than other people. But leaders are not like that. They share with people, they inspire people, and they teach people, they just show you the way, you understand. Okay, a boss uses people, leaders develop people. A boss takes credits for everything, and leaders give credit. A boss commands, I mean, the tone, the everything, mannerism speaks command. Then a leader actually acts, you understand, acts, and not just only say could you please. It is not only saying that, it is actually meaning it and acting that you're acting. A boss says go and do this, a leader says let's go together. So value leaders, not bosses. Another thing in part 2, another heading says pursue systems, not bureaucracy. So it's very important that in organizations we don't lead organization based on vibes, based on how you feel, based on personal idiosyncrasies. Once you are not in the mood, everybody in the office is in trouble. That is very, very wrong. As chief joy officers, as HR professionals, amazing people on our job, people persons, we have to learn how to set systems in place that actually work. Next thing is that we should care for our team, and that's really what our work is all about. Which my own is that we are not going to be in the organization forever. People will come, people will go. The little time we have together, we should ensure that we are creating beautiful memories and helping each other succeed. Care for each other. We are not going to be here forever. Learn together. We're supposed to learn together, become storytellers, say the story of your organization, say individual stories, make beautiful memories, and then we need to think about the organization bigger, like bigger than ourselves. We need to think about what happens to an organization after we are gone, because it's very painful when you see people, leaders, crashing an organization, maybe because they're about to leave, or they feel that once they leave they don't really care about what happens to the organization. That is not nice, that is not fair. Thank you for listening. This is the end of this book review of Chief Joy Officer by Richard Sheridan. Great book. How great leaders eliminate fear, and how great leaders sorry, I need to check that again so I'm saying the right thing. How great leaders eliminate fear, and oh my god, this is funny. How great leaders elevate human energy and eliminate fear. Thank you for listening up to this point. Remember to listen to other episodes. Give this episode a thumbs up, comment, share with your friend, that your HR friend that needs to hear this, that your person that is always dealing with people, or that your tech bro, that your tech friend that doesn't like to talk to other people, that is always running. Oh, you can't run forever, my people. We still have to learn how to interact with other human beings. So make sure you're sharing this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Remember, if you have a book you want us to review, send it to us. Mail us at planparty@gmail.com, or send us a DM on Instagram, LinkedIn, on Facebook. We are Plan Part Consult everywhere. We'll be glad to listen to you. If you have the book review, the soft copy of the book, or you want to send us a hard copy, it would be amazing to do that. We'll be glad to carefully consider you. Thank you so much. My name is Oluwatosin Mugbado Ade. I'm the podcast host, and it's nice to work with the producer and everybody writing the script, everybody on the team. Thank you so much. See you in our upcoming episode. Bye, yeah. Happy International HR Day 2022. Bye, yeah. Deuces.
The Blonde Pop.